Hi, this is the introduction to Discipleship 101. Thanks for joining us. And below this video, I will also add the links to the discipleship sermons that I preached last year. So please take the time to watch them, and you're more than welcome to also leave a comment. Now, before you start your discipleship journey, I would like to point out a few important things about discipleship. One of the scriptures you will hear me quote often is Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. And it says, and this is Jesus speaking, Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Now, when Jesus called his first disciples, they might not have completely understood what they were letting themselves into. But one thing they knew was they knew what it meant to follow someone. And they literally followed Jesus. They went where he went. They did what he did. And that is really just a simple way to explain discipleship. What does it mean to be a disciple? It means to imitate Jesus and to carry on his ministry. And in the process, also to be changed by him into his own image, so to become like him. So if that is your desire, to follow Jesus, to be changed by Jesus, to carry on his ministry by making disciples, by making fishers of men, then I would like to invite you onto this journey. Luke 6 verse 40 says that a fully trained person will be like his teacher, and that is what I want for you, and for you to be like Jesus, to be like your teacher. Now, Jesus gave us the Great Commission in Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 to 20. He said the following: "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." Now, this commission is not just an invitation to become a Christian or to become just a believer, a convert. It is also not an invitation to have some better life here on earth. The Great Commission is an invitation to become a disciple. And a disciple is someone that follows Jesus, someone that is changed by Jesus, and someone that is on a mission with Jesus. But before you put on your shoes and get ready for this journey, you need to know that there are costs involved. If you want to become a true follower of Jesus, you will have to count the cost of discipleship. Now, you cannot, for example, say, "I want to be a follower of Jesus," but you don't want to be changed by him. You cannot also, for example, say, "I want to be a follower of Jesus," but neglect the fact that he wants to make you a fisher of men, someone that makes disciples and teach them to do the same. So to be a disciple, you must love also God above everything else. Your love for him must be greater than your love for those close to you. When you follow Jesus, you shouldn't be held back by your heart and emotions for family and loved ones. Jesus should be your first love. Now, too many people make impulse decision in a moment of intense emotion. They choose, "I want to be a disciple, I want to follow Jesus," but that shouldn't be you. You should carefully consider what it means and what the cost is to be a disciple, to make the decision, and also to follow through with your decision. A disciple is also someone that forsakes all to follow Jesus. In Luke chapter 9:57, we find someone that said he would follow Jesus wherever he goes. But Jesus responded to him by saying in verse 58, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." So Jesus was saying to him, "I don't have a home, I don't have a bed. Are you sure you want to do this? Can you follow me under these kind of conditions? Are you willing to leave all your comforts behind? Do you really understand what it means and what the cost is to follow me. Now, we are not necessarily going to do that, but what price are we willing to pay to follow Jesus? And that's what we need to ask ourselves. When family obligations conflict with discipleship responsibilities, what will be more important to you? Now, many people do life first, and their faith or religion comes second. Yes, many Christians use Jesus as kind of a spare wheel. They only need him when they are in trouble, and this is unfortunately not discipleship. Now, if you want to follow Jesus, you will have to get your priorities right, even during life's tragedies. A disciple is also someone that does all Christ's commands. Jesus said in Matthew 28 verse 20 that we should teach disciples to observe all that he commanded. Now, we cannot just pick and choose which commands we want to obey and which not. You see, obedience is not a natural response. Our children don't naturally obey us. We need to discipline them. Hence the word disciple. Now, obedience is a trained response. I obey Jesus not because I feel like it. I obey Jesus because I am trained to do what he asks me to do. That is discipleship, and that is what is important. But of course, we also obey him because we love him. In John chapter 14:23, it says, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word. Now, the last thing, when we make disciples, it is also important that we love people. To spend time with someone, to help someone and support them on their journey. Yes, and many times you need patience and tolerance for not seeing the results that you would like to see. But we do this because we love people. We want to see them grow and come to their full potential in Christ. Now, a researcher, George Barna, in his book Growing True Disciples, says the following. He says, almost every church in our country has some type of discipleship program or set of activities, but stunningly few churches have a church of disciples. His research shows that only 23% of churchgoers are attending a small group or Bible study during the week, but less than 2% focus on making disciples, who make disciples. Now, why is there a discipleship deficit in the church today? Discipleship needs to be at the forefront of the church, and we need to teach God's people the things Jesus taught so that they can live the life, a kind of life Jesus commanded them. So let me end this introduction with Matthew chapter 7:24. It says, everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. So I want to encourage you, and I'm looking forward to this year, and we hope, my desire for you is to grow and to mature in Christ. And what you do now is you can go to our website at www.openbaptistchurch.co.za, and you'll find one of the menu links is Discipleship Process. Click on Discipleship 101, Discovering New Life, and then you scroll down to Introduction. You can open the introduction. There's also a link where you can download the document. And please, I want to ask you to answer those questions honestly and prayerfully. And when you're finished, leave a comment at the end so that I can see who is watching, who's reading, who's following. And may the Lord bless you. Thank you.